Hi everyone, it's Misty here. I hope that you're all keeping really well. I hope that school and university or wherever you're at is going well at the moment, and we hope that you're keeping really safe at this time. I'm just here to give a little bit of an update of what's going to be happening with Cheesy Nachos over the next few weeks, and just to give a little bit of an introduction to our new video series that you're watching right now. In terms of plans, over the next few weeks, Cheesy Nachos is going to continue to meet in person as long as it is safe to do so. But to keep safety a priority, we're going to be meeting in slightly smaller groups. So we have our younger group, which is from P7 to 3rd year, and then we have our older group, which is 4th year and above. Hopefully the community centre will be open very soon and we can get back to normal, but until then we're going to still be meeting in a room, a coffee shop, or in one of our gardens, just depending on what Northern Ireland weather is like that week. We also have this really exciting video series which we hope will be really encouraging for you guys. It's already been encouraging to us as we've been filming it and putting it together, so we hope that you guys really enjoy it. Members of our church congregation have agreed to do a little bit of an interview, what we're calling a doorstep interview, which is why I'm sitting here right now. They're going to tell us a little bit about themselves. They're going to tell us how lockdown has been for them, what has helped them, what they've been missing most, and also just to give a little bit of advice to us as the young people of Millbrook Church of the Nazarene. So without further ado, this is the first week of our videos of Doorstep Interviews, and this week we have your youth leaders doing their Doorstep Interviews. So there's myself, there's Ruth, there's Emma, and there's Jordan. We really hope that you are excited to see all that they have to say, and we really hope that these videos can encourage you and teach you and give a little bit of entertainment throughout the week. So hopefully you guys enjoy. See you later. Bye!
I am an auditor, or a fancy accountant, as some people refer to it as, and I became a Christian when I was about 4 or 5. I grew up in a Christian home. My granny and granda always went to church, and my mum, growing up in Canada, we all went to church together. And I just remember sitting in the church in Canada, and the pastor was speaking to us one night, and it was all the Sunday school, and I just remember giving my life to the Lord then. I don't really remember exactly the date or exactly what age I was, but I know I was around 4 or 5 at the time. Since then, obviously we moved over here. I stopped going to church for a little while until a friend invited me along to Carrick Nazarene at the time, and this was before Lauren started. And I went there for a little while, not all the time, but just when I could, and then started going to youth when I was in secondary school. Then Lauren started, and we had just recently moved to Lauren, and that's when I started coming to Millbrook.
Hey, I'm Ruth, obviously. I work at a place called Nerve Belfast, which is basically a creative company where I go into schools, youth groups and community groups and teach them how to use technology in a creative way. So making movies, making animations, doing games, 3D design, coding, stuff like that. So it's a pretty sweet job, I have to say. I really love what I do. There's loads of freedom and loads of gadgets and stuff involved. I suppose the background of me is that my dad's a minister, so I grew up in the church. Church has always been a big part of my life, obviously, and in my family. So I think I became a Christian when I was about 4. I don't overly remember it. I just know my dad does, very much so. But for me, the time where I really felt that I'd sort of given my heart to Jesus was I was in a youth group, Carrick Nazarene, and I just really felt that I needed him a lot more than I'd ever had or ever needed him before. So I feel like it was about when I was 12 or 13 I properly gave my life over to Jesus. So that was really important. It was a big step for me, and I got baptized pretty soon after. So youth group has always been a big part of my life. I loved my youth growing up. It kind of was my only security net as such in school and stuff. It was always the youth group.
My name's Jordan. I'm a chef at Andy's in Larne. I've been doing that for 7 years now. Quite a long time. And just went back there again after lockdown, and it was good. I've worked in Belfast before, and just always loved cooking. All good. And became a Christian I've always went to church, but just became a Christian just before we got married, really. Megan did a Alpha course thing for her church, and she did it, and then it sort of got it all back to me. It was good, so it was, because then I think when you're a bit older you realise then, like, you actually look into it a bit more. Like when you're younger, it's just a story. Yeah.
My name is Lissy, most of you guys do know me by now. I'm 22 years old. I've just finished my time at university studying theology up at Queen's, and I now work here as the youth community worker at Milbrook Church of the Nazarene. I became a Christian when I was about 13 or 14, around that sort of time. I went to church when I was younger with my nana, but didn't really follow through on anything and wasn't too sure about it as I was younger. But when I went to school, my best friend called Lauren, she invited me along to her youth group in Carrigaline. At the time it was Connect and Solution, and I started to go there. I learned a lot about God, I learned a lot about myself, and my youth leaders really inspired me to take on all that God had for me and that He had a plan for my life, and everything just started from there, really.
Having my sister living with me helped quite a lot, because then I wasn't by myself. Also, just being able to speak to everybody, have the youth calls, and being able to even go and sit in people's gardens and have a chat really helped. What I miss the most is actual proper contact with people. I just started my new job. I haven't met anybody in my new job yet. I'm probably not going to until next year. So that's a bit hard, and I really miss going out and visiting all my clients and actually having a cup of tea with somebody and a face-to-face chat. It definitely makes my job a lot harder not being there in person. What else has helped? Really just knowing that I've got a support system around me, and the fact that I can turn to nearly any of my friends or family or anybody in church to help out, and I know there's always somebody that I can annoy for a little bit of time and talk to, so I'm not going stir crazy in the house.
So something that's really helped us get through lockdown has just been cooking, weirdly. We are really enjoying cooking and trying new recipes and different techniques, and we've definitely got obsessed with this YouTube channel called Binging with Babish, which this guy cooks all these different recipes or food that he sees in TV shows that we kind of love, and then yeah, we're obsessed. We've bought like new knives, everything. So I would say cooking and board games and just binge watching has kind of got us through it, because we've been very busy just with church stuff. Some stuff that we really miss, or that I really miss at least, is kind of seeing everybody. I know that's really cliche and obvious, but sometimes when you're stuck in your own little bubble, even though you're chatting to people on Zoom, it's not the same as just relaxing in people's company. I really miss that. I don't miss crowds. I'm actually like loving the fact that when I go out now, there's barely anybody about. That's been great, because I'm not a fan of people. I really miss singing together with people. I know we don't really sing much as a youth, but I really miss just talking about music or singing. I really miss playing with the praise band, like more than anything. I miss playing with those guys. We've been lucky we've been able to play with a couple of people, but I really miss playing stuff. So yeah, I know that this is weird and this is kind of the new norm, but there are things that we're going to miss and things that we wish we could do, but we'll get there.
It's just being able to do stuff without having to think, should I be doing this or shouldn't I be doing this? And like going out to shops is weird because you don't know how other people are taking it. You can't tell what they're thinking if they're doing anything. You just can't see behind their mask anymore. But sorry, you have to try and read people's eyes. But it's like, it's weird trying to like interpret how other people, like if you're trying to even like brush past them, like you like walk past them. Then you people go like, don't even mind, just walking without a mask around. Weird. Yeah, I did the garden. Me and my dad concreted that and built the fence. And it was just nice to, because working in the kitchen the whole time, you're working so many hours a day. Like you went from working 15-hour days down the field day to going and sitting on the sofa all day doing nothing. It was nice. Then it was nice just because Megan was working from home. It was nice just being at home the whole time, just to spend time together. Because it was our first year being married. Like we spent nearly half of it together in the house the whole time. And then you just like, even though you were in the house the whole time, you got into a routine of doing the exact same thing every day. It's weird because like you had nothing to do all day. I felt like I was retired or something. Yeah, it was nice to get the garden done because like, it was a plan since we moved in last summer. Like I didn't think we were going to get it done because I worked so much. It's nice to actually get it all done before, like before the even summer happens. And then time summer happens, it's too wet.
What I've missed the most over lockdown has definitely been my friends and my family. I'm a really social person and I really miss being able to see people face to face and not through a screen. I've really missed hugs. I'm a really big huggy person and I love to hug people, and I really have missed that over this time of social distancing and lockdown. I've also really missed church. I really missed worshipping as a group together, being able to sing, be able to sing loudly and to sing with other believers. That's something that I'm really missing at the moment, and I hope that we can get back to that very soon. What has helped me the most over lockdown has definitely been doing loads of stuff for you, getting really busy, doing the videos, doing the online chats with you guys. I also had a little thing called the dissertation that I had to do over lockdown, and that took up a good portion of my time, so I wasn't bored in any sense of the word. But yeah, that's what's helped me.
So my top piece of advice is come and talk to us, use us, ask us questions, really reach out and get to know other people who are Christians, reach out and get to know each other, and don't try and close yourself off. Use everything that's available to you and just try and take that relationship with God a bit deeper now, because you'll find that life just gets busier and busier from here on out, and you really need to make it a priority in your life. What I wish I had known as a teenager, well, I kind of still consider myself a teenager. I'm not, but I act like it. I don't know. Just make sure you have the right friends around you. Make sure that they're going along with what you want for your life, and you're not just going along for the ride with people, that you're not just trying to make yourself fit in. Make sure that you're happy with what you're doing and how you're doing it.
One piece of advice for you, I suppose, stay creative, be creative. These are really hard times and you can kind of get down very quickly. You go down this little rabbit hole of panic and stuff. Being creative and trying new things. Being creative doesn't mean like go and paint, but just like try new things, try new ways of doing things. Keep yourself busy, get passionate about a hobby that you love. Just something that you are passionate about is really important. Whatever that is, whether it's Cameron and his chess, or Charlie and talking about D&D stuff. Do you know, it's just whatever you guys are passionate about, do it. You know, don't be afraid to try it, because that's what's really got me through. As to it's something I wish I could go back and tell my teenage self, I really wish, like with all of my heart, I really wish I could go back and tell myself, nobody's looking at you, like nobody really cares. I don't mean that in an awful way, I mean that in, I was so petrified to do anything that someone would laugh at me, that I ended up really not doing stuff. I was so socially anxious and everything, and then you just realise I like being weird, I like being nerdy, I like loving sci-fi, I love everything to do with sci-fi, and that's nothing to be ashamed of, do you know? And I really wish I could go back and tell myself that. It's not, don't be ashamed of who you are, because who you are is perfectly fine, you know, and God made me this way. And yeah, just I really, like more than I can actually say, really wish I could go back and tell myself that, because the years I could have saved of anxiety would have been great. So yeah, just be yourself. That's the best thing to be.
Just to be, like when you were younger, it was just, if your friends were doing something, you did it. More like even if they went to church, like if someone or your other like friend groups made fun of it, like you sort of, alright, okay, I can't do that then, like keep making fun of me. Or like if you just actually just did it like what you want to do instead of what your friends want to do. And I think if you actually like read into it a bit more and look into it instead of just reading it, like listen to it in church before not really thinking any more about it. You actually listen to what you're just telling you every week.
So what I wish I would have known as a teenager, I think because I only became a Christian when I was 13 or 14, I felt like I'd missed out on a lot of sort of background knowledge, as I kind of call it. I think a lot of my friends knew all the Sunday school stories and all the Bible stories more like the back of their hand, because they had grew up in church and that was kind of normal to them. So I think for me as a teenager, I wish that I would have studied a wee bit more for myself. I wish that I would have talked to people a bit more and would have studied and looked into things for myself. I think it was only when I got to university where I had the opportunity to just dive into the Bible, dive into the living book and all the advice that it gave me. So I think that would be a big piece of advice for me. I really hope that our young people truly know how much they're loved. I think it's a thing that we say all the time, that God loves you, Jesus loves you, and Jesus did this for you, and it's something that can sort of become a bit repetitive and you don't really take it in. But I really, really hope that all of our young people know that they are truly loved, not by a big man in the sky who isn't real or isn't in our day-to-day lives, but somebody that is close, that is walking beside us every minute of every day, that he wants to support you, he wants to comfort you, he wants to love you, he wants to know you. He doesn't expect anything from you. I really hope that you know this isn't about being perfect or putting on some sort of performance. I really hope that you know that he wants to be with you and he wants to guide you through this life and whatever it has for you. And I also think my biggest piece of advice is to know that there is a plan, to know that even if things aren't going a bit skew, if things aren't going to plan at the moment, things are so different and things are changing every day, but to know that our God is above that. Our God is more powerful than anything of this world, and his plans can't be stopped, not even by COVID or a national lockdown or anything like that. I really hope that you all know that he has a plan for your life individually, and he knows you and he loves you and he has things for you.